Hi everybody, John here at Courthouse Technologies, and today I'd like to go into further detail about why having your jury management system fully integrated with a product like an IVR or an IWR is crucial to making your jury management as efficient as possible in today's technological age. If these products have not been fully integrated by developers with jury management expertise, your jury operation is destined to continue to waste money, time, and effort. In this video, I'm going to show you what having complete integration looks like between Courthouse JMS and our IWR, Courthouse eResponse. Let's take a look. The most important part of having complete integration is being able to set the parameters of your IWR in the jury system itself. As you can see, you can set our eResponse business rules right in the JMS. I do this by going to the Court Locations table where I will find the eResponse tab. First, we can choose which login parameters we want besides a juror's candidate number. You can ask for their date of birth, a 4-digit PIN number, and/or their zip code. You can also control the color theme of eResponse, or if you would like to display a banner or seal image. You can also choose how many days prior to a juror's summons date a juror is allowed to log into the system. From there, we have a list of juror functions we can turn on or off, such as being able to print an attendance letter or reprint the summons, or if they can request an excusal, deferral, or a disqualification. You can also decide whether the juror needs to provide more information when they log in, like a digital declaration, their email address, or a phone number. How about notifications? You also have the option if you want eResponse to send out reminders and notifications by email. This is a real time saver. Lastly, you can choose whether or not a juror has the ability to edit personal information or mileage for payment, or if you want to know if they logged in to the system or not by auto-confirming them as the jurors receive their summons. So by setting up eResponse inside the jury management system, we can see that these two products work as a team. This will be further demonstrated when a juror logs into eResponse. When a juror logs into eResponse, they have to enter their unique juror number. This number comes from the jury system, of course. Remember, you can also have other login credentials, as I've shown you earlier. If set up correctly, you can have eResponse require that a juror enters his or her contact information, like an email address or phone number. This information will be very useful in the future when using the automated forms of communication by phone or email that our JMS offers. As I said, it is a real time saver when you can communicate automatically with the juror without picking up a phone or typing out an email. Once the contact info is entered, eResponse can direct them right to their questionnaire. As I have shown you in a previous movie, this questionnaire is also created in the jury system. Answers here can determine a juror's qualification status automatically and will be uploaded to the juror's record inside the system. After the questionnaire is submitted, eResponse takes the juror to their general profile page, where they can confirm all of their basic information, as well as see their service information, like a summons date, status, and if they are scheduled to report for jury duty. As you can see, the email address and phone number I entered earlier are now part of the juror's personal information. The juror can also request to be excused, deferred, or disqualified. You can see this at the top of the page here. As an example, if a juror decides he or she would like to be disqualified, they have a number of reasons to choose from. But where do these reasons come from? Well, they come from the jury management system. Another example of complete integration. In Courthouse JMS, you have the ability to create and edit excusal, deferral, and disqualification reasons in our lookup tables section. And this can be done down to the location, So different courts in your installation can have different properties. First, you can decide whether or not the reason is auto-granted, as in, it will be granted without any further intervention from the court. If it is not an auto-granted reason, you then have the choice whether or not further documentation is required by the juror to have his or her request granted by the court. Lastly, if further documentation is required, you have the ability to list what that documentation is. This, of course, will show up in eResponse or IVR. What's important here is all of these business rules will apply to the juror's use of eResponse when they make a request to the court. As you can see, when a juror selects a disqualification reason, the business rules automatically engage and notify the juror if he or she is required to provide further information. They can send this information in by mail or fax, or if you allow them, they can enter the information in the notes field, like I am doing here. Once the request is made, it will show up in the juror's service information. Once the juror makes his or her request, it automatically uploads that information into the jury system. You will see this as you're working in Courthouse JMS because the little Request tab in the top right of the page will go from white to green, as shown here. When you click on it, it will display the last request that came in and provide you with all of the information of the request, whether it came from IWR or IVR. If you would like to dispose of it, you can go to the request maintenance page right from here. As I have shown you before, you have the ability to look at all outstanding requests and dispose of them as you see fit. As you can see, I will approve the request that just came in, like so. And because you require the juror to enter his or her email address, an email will now go out automatically notifying the juror that his or her request has been granted by the court. As I said, a real time saver. So how important is integration when using peripheral products with your jury system? Well, it's everything. The more integration you have with your jury system, with your peripheral products, the more efficient you will be, and the more time you will save for yourself and the juror. I hope you have found this informative and useful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks again.